Over 100,000 of you have watched this video in the last month, and I have been getting so many amazing questions about freelancing and how to get started. So in today's video, I am going to use the time to answer all of the high-level, most common questions that I've been getting about getting started with freelancing. What's up, guys? It's your girl, Nicole.Young, and welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, welcome. I am so glad that you're here. This video is actually the first of a series that I'm going to be doing on this channel, diving super deep into the concept of tech freelancing. We are going to be talking about all things freelancing on this channel for a good bit. So if that sounds good to you, make sure you hit a thumbs up, subscribe, and don't forget that notification bell because you're not going to want to miss a video in this series. I have so much planned for you, but in the meantime, if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments of this video or others that are coming, and you can also check me out on social media and DM me there. All right, let's get started. Okay, so I want to start off with a few disclaimers. I realize if you watched this video or any of my previous videos on the topic, it may have seemed like freelancing is this super easy, get rich quick type of path into using your development and other tech skills to bring in income. That's not true at all. The market is super saturated, and it's going to take a lot of hustle and determination and consistent work to start being recognized in the market and also to start bringing in clients. So don't think that this is going to be an easy route, kind of getting away from the traditional route of getting a 9-to-5 job. This is more so something that you should look into if you are beginning and you have other reliable sources of income and want to kind of dabble, or if you are able to balance and juggle it with other things that you have going on. But definitely don't expect it to be super profitable when you're first getting started. It takes some time and hustle and networking and all of those types of things that we're going to get into to really start to see progress with it. But don't give up. I definitely think it's worth it if you stick it out. So a question that I've been getting a lot in my DMs is, what exactly should I be learning to start getting into freelancing? And the first thing I would say with that is that you should not pursue to learn something just because you want to get into freelancing. You should only dive deep into learning things that are of interest to you and that are going to serve your larger goals. I don't suggest just going into something because you think it'll give you a good prospect for freelancing clients. Don't do that. You're just going to end up feeling really burdened by what you're learning, especially if you're not interested in it. And that's no fun. It's not going to be worth it in the end. What I do suggest is to narrow your focus into one vertical. So if you have multiple things that you're kind of learning across the board, pick one of them and dive deep into that particular concept. That's going to help you be more competitive and stand out a little bit more in the market, as opposed to someone who has more general breadth of knowledge across the board. Depth is always better than breadth when it comes to tech skills and freelancing and being able to stand out in the market. So this is by far the most common question that I have received in the last few months. And what I will say is I'm going to give you a few high-level tips, but make sure you also stay for the full length of this video because everything that I mention for the rest of the video is going to either directly or indirectly affect your ability to do this. And that is finding your first clients and maintaining an input of clients. One of the biggest suggestions that I have when finding your first clients is to look into your local network. This is going to be great for kind of mitigating some of the saturation in the market if you're only focused on your area and how you can best serve the people in your city or town. You're already eliminating a ton of potential competition. And what I would say is, tap into local business owners and entrepreneurs that are in your area and try to find a niche of those people that you can best serve. When I was just getting started, I heavily tapped in to the network that I already had. And all of my first clients were someone that I knew or had personal connections with in my own network that had already been working on building over the previous few years. Don't underestimate how much clientele you can pull in just really tapping into your local area. Do not underestimate that, because even to this day, the majority of the clients that I take in are ones that I have personal connections with in one way or another, even if that's through some sort of word of mouth from a previous client. So I think this is the biggest game changer, so definitely don't knock it until you've tried it. Now let's talk about personal branding or personal marketing. It is so important, if you are going into freelancing for yourself, that you are marketing what you can do and sharing that as broadly as you can. And the number one way to do that is utilizing your social media. It's free, it's organic, and you have an opportunity to utilize things like hashtags to really make sure that the right people are seeing what you do. So my advice is to make sure that you are keeping your social media and your LinkedIn, which is a very important site for this, and also any other sites up to date with what you're doing. Make sure you're sharing as regularly as you can about the projects that you're working on and the things that you're interested in doing, and build credibility by showing the areas of expertise that you have. It can be as simple as just showing something that you've worked on, or sharing a tidbit of knowledge that you know of how to optimize websites because you're learning how to do SEO, or something simple. But building credibility through sharing your knowledge and expertise is a great way of organically also building trust with potential clients. So you guys have to be using social media. You have to be. Next is a portfolio. Do you need one? Now, what I'm going to say is, yes, you absolutely need a portfolio. But if that portfolio is the one thing keeping you from getting started in freelancing or learning more things, then put it on the back burner. Start first and start building your portfolio as you gain momentum, but do not let it be the excuse for why you haven't started, okay? If you don't have a portfolio, but you still want to kind of show your expertise to a potential client, one thing that I did that I thought was really effective was if there was a client, I would go through their website, I would kind of just take notes on things that I personally saw wrong with the website that I could fix or update or make better in any kind of way. And I took notes on those things. And then when I reached out to that client, I kind of just gave them a high level of like, these are things that I noticed of your website that I could help update. And that helped to build credibility and trust with that potential client to where they ended up taking me on because it showed that I knew what I was talking about. And yeah, even though I didn't have like a ton of work to show beforehand. So think outside the box. The portfolio shouldn't be something that's hindering you. It really should be like a cherry on top of everything else. So kind of think of it like that. Next, we're going to talk about another big word that is super important to not only landing clients, but maintaining clients and getting referrals for new clients and kind of just keeping your pipeline full. And that is professionalism. So what I mean by professionalism is that you have to understand this is business, and no one owes you anything at all. Clientele. You don't deserve clientele just because you created a profile on something. You have to, it is your job to build trust with any potential client that sees what you do. It's your job to reassure them that you know what you're talking about, that you are going to take their time and money seriously, that you are going to deliver the best that you can in any circumstance in terms of working with them. It's up to you to do that. You have to be the one to build the confidence and trust. So when you're speaking with potential clients, you need to be talking about what you do with confidence. Develop a pitch that can help you build confidence in the things that you're saying. When you are meeting with clients, make sure you show up on time and prepared with, like I said, anything that you can show them in terms of the work that you do, or how you can help them. You have to reassure your potential client that their money is in good hands, or you're never going to be able to land clients. And even if you do land clients, if you are not taking their time and money seriously, you better believe they're not going to be referring you down the line to their friends or colleagues. So professionalism is just a very important thing. We're going to dive deep into this topic of just how to present yourself in a professional manner and big mistakes that you could be making that could be hindering you. So make sure, like I said, you hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and that notification bell, because you don't want to miss that one. The last thing is going right along with professionalism, and that is to clearly communicate the value that you are bringing. In the time that I've been doing this, one thing I've learned is that most clients don't actually care about what you know. They care about the results that you can bring them, period. So instead of listing off tons of technologies that you know, although that is important, it is not the thing that you should be highlighting above sharing the results that you can bring. So instead of saying, I know React, most people might not even know what that means. You might instead say, I know the technologies necessary to improve load time on your website by creating a single page application, which will improve load times and hopefully increase the visit times of any customers that visit your site, because it'll be loading faster, right? Something like that. You want to be able to paint the picture for them. Don't think that they're going to do it on their own, because most of the time they're not. And lastly, we're going to dive deep into lots of resources that I like that are out there, ones that I've even been using to learn more, but a few things that you can check out in the meantime. Number one, there is this book called Building a Story Brand. You definitely want to check that out. And then another book called The Business of Expertise. These are two books that I read super quickly and also back to back, and they really helped me to understand not only how to do better work in my freelancing work, but also how to pitch myself and build a brand around myself to attract clients. These are definitely, like, you must read these for sure. And there is also a really great freelancing Udemy course. It is geared towards more like designers and things like that, but I think it's super helpful no matter what type of technical skills that you're trying to freelance with. So definitely check that out too. All right, that is all I had for you in this video. Again, if this is a series that you are excited about, make sure you give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe if you haven't already, and the notification bell so that you don't miss any of the videos in this series. I swear I have so much for you guys, and I'm really excited to share it. All right, I love you, I'm rooting for you, and I cannot wait to see you